What is up, guys? It is Sam, the Raid Man. As you can see, I'm rocking my shirt. My brother-in-law got me this a while back. Thought it was super fun of him. Not that I'm pushing any merch, just thought it was a fun shirt that I'm wearing today. Happened to be wearing it. Honestly, didn't even think about it. Enough rambling. Obviously, it is 2x on all of these shards this weekend, and particularly I want to talk about void shards. And a long time ago I did a poll series where I was polling about the worst void legendaries in every faction. Today I kind of want to flip that and I want to talk about the best void legendaries just in the game, not per faction, just kind of the top 10. The ranking system is rough, so don't take everything I say. Like 4 is way better than 5. It's kind of a rough ranking of the top 10. I have a few honorable mentions and then one that I just kind of caveat did not include. So let's start with there. And promise I've got the best promo code you have ever seen. This is a referral code as well as a promo code, and I promise you're gonna be blown away by the results. We can get you 3 free legendary champions, including a void legendary champion and a champion I don't even have on my main account, as well as 3 really solid epics as you level up in the game. I'm gonna walk you through how to do this. I promise you this code is live and this code works. Step 1, log out of Player and Play on your PC and uninstall it. If you've never had Raid connected to your phone before, it should work there as well. Step 2, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Very important that it's a brand new email. Step 3, launch Raid, complete the tutorial. Step 4, go to your inbox. We just got a legendary LNRL, some brews, some pots, which leads me into my second legendary that you can get, which is the Alice Chase. If you do this in time, all you have to do is log in for 7 days in a row. This expires on April 10th. It's going to be Supreme 6. You get Supreme Gaelic, pots, brews, more silver. Just an unbelievable Kickstarter. Hope you guys are as excited about this as I am. Again, just to use that link in the description of this video below. I don't know how this is real. I did not include Marius because he's not really pullable from Shards, which is what spawned the idea for this video. But Marius, we're gonna just pull him up here. Marius is amazing. He is unbelievable. He is a top 10 void legendary champion in the game. I'm not even gonna get too much into his kit. Enfeeble, enemy max HP on an AoE. He outdamages my Newt and Chimera. He is unbelievable. But again, not pullable from Shards, so that's what we're talking about. All right, so I have 3 honorable mentions, 2 of which all 3 of them I have not tested. One of them is Fidey, who I've seen is very highly ranked and people talk about them being amazing. So heals, fills turn meter, full buff strip, block buffs, decrease speed, turn meter fill. So that's very Hydra based, 3 turn cooldown, increased resistance, perfect veil, very Hydra based, decrease cooldown of all ally skills except for this champion by 3 turns on a 4 turn cooldown. That is amazing. Turn meter fill effects on allies that are controlled are more effective whenever sheep is removed. Yeah, so it's very Hydra based or potentially arena with some of this CC stuff, but again, never tested him, so I don't really understand the full scope of what he can do. So I didn't include Fidey, and I also did not include the Queen of Hearts, who I was surprised to see is this high. I remember reading her kit. I didn't think she was that good, but maybe she is. AoE, decreased defense, fills turn meter of all allies. That's a great A1. Removes all buffs from all enemies, so a full buff strip, then places Death Brand on the initial target. That's the one where if they're killed under Death Brand, they block revive. True Fear on all enemies for 1 turn. Fills this champion's turn meter by 5% for each buff removed. That is pretty solid ability on a 4 turn. And then all ally attack, plays increased attack on everybody. And then if they kill that target, reduces the skill's cooldown by 2 turns. So that's pretty good. And then grants its champion an extra turn for every 10 buffs the enemy team receives, which is weird, but that is cool, especially for the arena. So I think she's niche, but I could see her maybe being in the top 10. Personally, I don't think I would put her there. That being said, our actual top 10 now. The first one is a champion that you can actually earn through Hydra, and it's Mithrala. She was kind of on the cusp, but I think she is good enough and still stands pretty high above the rest. She's a Hex champion. She places increased attack and increased defense on everybody on a 3 turn cooldown. She's defense based. She's a very good poison on A1. She's got a full cleanse with strengthen and shield, which is very big. Her passive is amazing. Whenever someone with Hex attacks anybody on your team, 50% chance of placing petrification, or whenever she's attacked, 50%, whenever an ally is attacked, 30%. And then the passive, this part of the passive is crazy, increases her resistance by however much accuracy she has. So let's say I have 300 resistance, 500 accuracy. I now have 800 resistance. So she's basically immune to most things unless someone's on an increased accuracy buff. So I used her recently in Amius and she was a big carry there for the cleanse and then the poisons. So she is amazing pretty much any area in the game. A lot of people use her in the arena for cleansing. A lot of people use her in Hydra for the Hex. She can go in a lot of places. You can put her in Seer teams because she does double buff wherever you want. Number 9 is another champion that if I hadn't tested, I would be a little bit lower on him, but because I've used him so much, I think I have to put him higher. And it is Warlord because he's so special in the arena. It's all about this ability. 4-turn cooldown, attacks all enemies, 100% chance to put each target skills on cooldown to the full cooldown. So if I have, let's say, this ability, some other warlord locks me out, it's a 3-turn cooldown, it's now on a 3-turn cooldown, like you just used all of your abilities. So they have to A1 until they earn one of their abilities back, which is crazy. Also has a 60% chance to fully deplete each target's turn meter, and that part of his kit is super underrated. I think a lot of people compare him to Yumiko, but this gives him such a big edge in my mind. Let me give you a quick aside, a quick demo, and show you one of my teams. This is one of the teams I've been running with to be fun, and I use Warlord in my main team, and most successful classic arena team has Warlord in it. I've been using him a lot in live arena as well. Okay, so this is a very slow team. It is a go second team. We just decrease some turn meter with Shuzen, but let's watch this and see who we can decrease their turn meters. Wukong and Saoirse both had their turn meters decreased. Phoenix can go in, kill everybody. Phoenix can go in, kill everybody. Warlord goes, he heals us. He places block buffs. Our block debuffs, which is nice. That's another good part. Does a little bit of healing, a little bit of shielding, and the block debuffs. We're going to kill Saoirse, and then we're going to wait for our Mithrala to run down. Another champion on the top 10 list, Mithrala right there, making her appearance, and then Phoenix puts her down. So yeah, Warlord, amazing for that. It's really good to counter people under Stone Skin, because even if they're under Stone Skin, they're still locked out by Warlord. He just is amazing for the arena. I didn't want to put him on the list because he really just is an arena specialist, but he is so good at that. He is untouchable. Next up is going to be, believe it or not, another Void Legendary that is earnable in this game, also from the Dark Elves faction, and is Lydia. She used to be arguably the number one. She's fallen a little bit, but I think people are appreciating her more and more nowadays for like Chimera and areas like that. This ability might be the best ability in the game, or at least top 3. AoE, 100% chance placing decreased defense and weaken, which is good, on a 3-turn cooldown, but also places strengthen and increase speed on all allies for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. Those are almost like 2 really, really amazing abilities in one. Like, that's an insane buffing ability and an insane debuffing ability. Poison sensitivity, fears on the A1, blocks enemy revivals on the passive. I know everyone knows Lydia, but I feel like a lot of people just sleep on her because she's free, but she is so good. Yeah, I love my Lydia. She's in 9-piece protection for me and is killing it in my Chimera team. So this is Onryo Ieyasu, one of the hardest champions to pronounce their name in the game, and one of the hardest hitting champions in the game with the knife in his teeth. He hits single target, can hit extra 2 times, extra 4 times hypothetically, hits another target, destroys max HP. The more buffs and debuffs they have, stacks up to 100%. This one absolutely nukes, and they can block revive. Attacks one enemy 2 times, ignores defense, stone skin, shield, and strengthen, which is crazy. Hits super hard. You might be thinking, okay, he's a single target damage dealer. Well, he's not. Whenever this champion attacks, all enemies except for the initial target receive damage equal to 25% of the damage dealt to the initial target, which isn't necessarily a ton, but he does hit very hard. But it also ignores 100% of each champion's defense, cannot be critical, and will not trigger counterattack. So he actually does massive AoE damage. Number 6, this is one I got from one of the lists, and I was like, I guess I can't not include him, but I don't know if I use mine as much as I should, and it's going to be Krisk. For a while, he again was probably also number 1 or number 2. He's got so much going on in his kit, but I think the knock against Krisk is he can help you progress anywhere. He's arguably one of the best champions you could ever pull at the beginning of an account, because he helps in every single area of the game at that point, but he doesn't help you do a lot of stuff fast, but he can help you survive and do stuff and complete stuff you may not be able to complete. So I don't know if he's as in-game as he used to be, but he still is amazing. So he's got an AoE provoke on a 3-turn cooldown, increased defense on himself, increased speed on everyone else, 3-turn cooldown, ally protection, and then continuous heal on himself, increase the duration of ally buffs. So this is how you use him in Wixwell teams or shield teams. He used to be a mainstay on the Brockney team. This is also how you can make him a mischief target in Hydra, because he buffs himself. And then AoE on the A1, so 2 AoEs, all AoEs, decreased speed on the A1, very good in Hydra, places shield on everyone, and then whenever someone attacks him, chance of placing decreased defense and decreased attack. He is amazing. Until I pulled Alas, he was my main provoker in Hydra. Now he's my secondary provoker in my brutal team. So he is amazing, just not as good as he used to be. Now this is where it's going to get a little controversial. I have this champion a little bit lower than some people do. At 5-ish, I have Marichka. I own a Marichka. You can see I do not own her partner. She's one of the best supports in the game, and I've been flamed in the past for criticizing her, so I'm not going to criticize her. I do think she's amazing. She's got a full cleanse, a massive heal, 40% with a big shield. She grants an extra turn. She's got a speed aura. And she's got a crazy reviving passive. I do think she's very, very good to counter any type of poisons or specifically HP burn like Gizmek style arena teams. I just don't think she's as account changing by herself as some people say she is. That being said, she's amazing and I'm glad I have her. I do think this next champion is significantly better than her, and it is Siphi the Lost Bride. Again, you can argue any of these top 4. We are in the top 4 now. Merch goes top 5. You could really argue them anywhere, just depending on what your account needs and what area you're trying to progress in. I use Siphi everywhere. I've used her in the arena almost every single one of my number 1 teams or number 2 teams since I've pulled her like 2 years ago. I use her in Hydra. I actually use her in Chimera right now with the team that I've been trying. I usually use her in Doom Tower a lot. She's just unbelievable. One of the best A1s in the game. Sleep, unresistible if they are over 50% turn meter. With the heal if they're less than 50% turn meter, which is good in PvE. This used to be an amazing ability. It's still amazing. It just used to be more amazing. It's a 4-turn cooldown, block debuffs, turn meter fill, increased defense, and increased speed. It used to be on a 3-turn cooldown, which was actually crazy. A really good single target revive. If this was a AoE revive, she'd be the best Void champion, maybe the best, non-mythical in the game. Revive single ally with 55% HP and a full turn meter, increase attack, increase crit rate on that ally for 2 turns. It's an amazing revive ability, but it's just only one champion. That's the downside. Heals every champion at the start of the turn, 50% chance of removing freeze or fear from each ally at the start of a turn. That's why I used to use her a lot in Hydra, and then full cleanse for Rhodos if they're in the same team. And then a really strong resistance aura of 80. So much healing. The passive is very underrated. Healing on the A1, so much buffing. She's amazing in 9-piece protection, which is how mine is built. She is a big carry, especially in the arena, but really anywhere. All right, top 3. These are all amazing. You can kind of, like I said, you can switch them around. But number 3 for me, I have Taras. He is far from an arena only guy. He is useful everywhere. A1, decrease attack. Each critical hit fills the turn meter of all allies by 5%. So 2 attacks would get everyone 10% turn meter. A really strong A1 obviously hits very hard. Hero's Intercession. Attacks one enemy, places stun for 2 turns, which is crazy. On a 3-turn cooldown is nuts. Deals double damage to enemies whose attack is equal to or higher than this champion's attack. So you want him high HP, low attack, which you will almost always have, unless you're, well, especially if you're fighting a damage dealer, but ideally anyone you're fighting. Whenever someone attacks Marichka, attack the enemy using this skill, which is super annoying when you're facing him. Constant pressure is unbelievable. 4-turn cooldown AoE. Damage increases by 15% for each buff on allies. And this is kind of just keeps growing and keeps growing. So if you have 5 buffs on 4 allies, then you are going to get 15%. So that's 75, 300% extra damage. Then increases duration of ally buffs by 1 turn. So it doesn't remove them like Seer does, but it's very similar to that Seer ability where you want more buffs. Heals a champion by 5% for every buff. Restores destroyed max HP equal to the amount of any surplus heal. It's amazing. It's an unbelievable ability. This is typically his home run hit in the arena. It's got 2 passives. One attack, decrease the enemy's attack by 10% up to 50%. Places fear on all enemies at the beginning of each round. Cannot be resisted from orcs, ogre tribes, undead, horde, and demon spawn. Poise. This is another insane passive. All incoming damage from skills is reduced by 50%. That by itself is just nuts. When attacked, this champion's max HP will be decreased by 25% of the attack's initial damage before the damage reduction. That makes sense, except for his abilities, unlike every other HP-based champion, don't get affected by his max HP. If you lower his max HP, it still leaves the max damage as what was his original max HP, which is a bug, but they refuse to fix it. That's not my main gripe with him. My main gripe with him is how amazing every part of his kit is, but that's okay. And my main gripe is that I don't have him, to be completely honest. Number 2, I could see this one being number 1. It's kind of a mix of what I have as number 1 and who we had at number 6. It is going to be Graazur Irongut. Doesn't look like iron to me, but he is massive, big boy with the toes out, all 4 of them. He's basically a better version, upgraded version of Krisk, who's already in the top 10. AoE places shield based on his defense. AoE on the A2 heals himself, increases the duration of all ally buffs on all allies by 1 turn on a 3-turn cooldown, and the damage he deals is based off enemy max HP. 3-turn cooldown, AoE enemy max HP, and AoE buff increase. Nuts. A3, let none pass. Attacks all enemies, full chance of placing provoke, increased resistance, and increased defense on all allies for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. One of the best provokers in the game, one of the best enemy max HP champions in the game, one of the best supports in the game. Passive, whenever he is attacked, heals all allies by, except for this champion, by 70% of the damage received, or 35% of the damage received from boss attacks. This effect has no cooldown. It's like the Vogoth effect, but better. And then, when he's about to die, places an unkillable on him 1 turn before receiving a fatal hit. That's on a 4-turn cooldown. It's just nuts. So much damage, so much support. You probably don't need a reviver if you have him on your team. Just does so much. I really want him for my Hydra teams. Speaking of people I really want for my Hydra teams, but also all of my teams, I would argue this is the number 1 Void champion in the game. Let me know in the comments if you disagree. Of course, I think it is Acrizia. This is what I was talking about. Graazur is kind of a mix of Acrizia and Krisk. But Acrizia has enemy max HP on every ability. Basically, her passive is decrease the damage taken from AoE attacks by 50%. That's very strong passive in and of itself. Makes her very more survivable and tanky. But if a target's max HP is more than double this champion's max HP, this champion's attacks will deal damage based on the target's max HP instead of this champion's attack. So in all of these skills where it says HP and attack, you would remove the attack and it'll just be HP and the enemy max HP. HP and enemy max HP. Now, if I'm fighting someone who does not have double my HP, max HP, like someone in the arena, then it would be based off HP and attack. But against all PvE stuff, Hydra, Clan Boss, Chimera especially, it's all HP and enemy max HP. So the A1 attacks one enemy, decrease attack. Just the damage of this skill increases by 10% every time the skill is used, stacks up to 100%. So if it starts the run doing 250,000, by the end it'll be doing 500,000, plus the mastery that also increases that by 10%. Pretty crazy. AoE, we love AoE, enemy max HP. Shield on herself. Shield is equal to 5% of the champion's max HP for each critical hit. So if you hit 4 people twice, that'd be 40% of her max HP for each critical hit, which is a massive shield. On a 3-turn cooldown, we love that. Double hitter is super nice. That one does a lot of damage. And then shutdown, attacks one enemy 2 times. Can steal 100% turn meter. This is where she's good for like dungeons, like Fire Knight or Spider. Effect cannot be resisted if the target has higher max HP for this champion. So potentially some arena there, but probably not. Cure rate in all battles, and again, obviously that crazy passive that makes her just do so much damage. The only downside to her is in Hydra, when someone has reflect damage, she'll kill herself, or in Chimera, when you're facing the boss that reflects damage, you can kill yourself. So you kind of need to have a reviver in that instance to bring in an Acrizia. I mentioned my honorable mentions. There are definitely people that I snubbed. I think a lot of the other ones I snubbed are very, very situational. I think a champion I would have liked to have on the list is Cardiel, but it's like, just who do I take out? Maybe Mithrala. The list is a little bit fluid depending on your opinion. Odin is new. I try and not talk too much about champions I don't know much about. I don't have an Odin. I haven't faced Odin that much, so I'm not sure how impactful he actually is. The Chalco guy is new and could potentially be better than like a Warlord, Chuzin, or Mithrala, like the bottom of my top 10. Like I said, it's just so flexible. It's hard to say. I tried not to include too many out and out damage dealers, but Acrizia I think just stands that much among the rest. So yeah, I feel pretty good with my list. Let me know in the comments, who would you take off or who would you add that I didn't include for the top 10 Void Legendaries in the game. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.